Going to be doing some Mermail test hands featuring the deck that I profiled in the previous video. So if you guys enjoy the Mermail content, want to see some more videos as I draw my deck all over the place, make sure to leave a like. One like does go a long way. And of course, subscribe for more videos. I try to upload a Mermail deck profile every month, do a combo guide once a month, and test hands once a month because it is my favorite deck. Now, I am going to do test hands like I said, but obviously I'm only going to be using cards in my deck. Reason why I say that is because whenever I do test hands or combos, people always come like, hey, why didn't you do this and summon this card and play that? It's not in my deck. That's why I'm not playing it. So check out the profile if you want. And let's go on to the test hand. So we opened with Prince, which is cool. Moria agreed. Dragoons, and a Minstrel. So this hand is pretty self-explanatory in terms of what we would do. So I would just hit the hand trap right away and see what our opponent has. So we get the Dragoon Search as well. And here, like, if our opponent only has one hand trap and we rip it, or they have no hand trap and we rip it, let's say we're playing against a deck where we know that VFD would be extremely impactful in this matchup, we would search for Deep Sea Diva. And because now our opponent's going to have 4 cards in their hand, they'll get the 1 card back off of Minstrel at the end phase. But we can drop Mulan this turn by summoning Diva using the effect. And we could potentially get another card out of their hand, which is pretty cool. So we'll use the effect here, and we're going to send Dragoons, add Dragoons. Let me just, so send Dragoons, add Dragoons. Now here we already used Minstrel, right? So what we're going to do is we're actually going to get Megalo, just so we can get the extra waters engraved. That's why I like playing Megalo too. It kind of bridges together these like weirder plays where you start with Minstrel as your first action. And also it's an extender, it could OTK, so yeah. So here what we're going to do is we have to summon the Megalo first. So we're going to discard the Dragoons and the Prince, not using the Prince effect to revive anything, because there's really no point to do that because we'll just clog our board. We'll get a search for Mulan, and then we're just going to drop it right away because we'll have 5 waters engraved. And then from here, we just go into link plays. So I'm going to take the Diva and the Prince, and we're going to go into Halki Fibrax. We're going to use the effect of Halki Fibrax, of course, which is going to get us the Plague Spreader Zombie here. In a second, if I can find it. Where the heck is it? I went through my deck, I didn't even see it. There it is. Plague Spreader Zombie was hiding behind Teus. And then from here, so this is interesting. What we can do is we're going to go into Link Cross over here, getting 2 tokens. So to represent the level 1 tokens, I will use dice. So you go bam and bam. We're going to Synchro level 3. So we'll use the Plague Spreader Zombie and one of the tokens. Bring out Martial Metal Marcher. Martial Metal Marcher's effect will activate here. And we're going to bring... Actually, we're only going to summon 1 token off Link Cross. You'll see why. So just make sure if you have an extra monster on board for the regular Diva play, you have to only summon 1 token, and you'll see why. So we'll use the effect of Martial Metal Marcher. We need to bring back a level 3 tuner, so we bring back the Deep Sea Minstrel. And then from here what we do is we take the Deep Sea Minstrel and we take the Link Cross, and we go into Barricade Board Blocker. The reason why we only summon the 1 token is because we would have clogged our board. Sorry, we take the Megalo, not the Minstrel. I'm all over the place, sorry. It's early. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into Auradon because we need the space for the tokens. So we're going to summon out 3 tokens. So we're going to go... imagine 3 level 3 tokens, and then we take 2 of them with the Minstrel to go into a level 9. In this case, it's going to be the Ravenous Crocosaur Arquetus. Ravenous Crocosaur Arquetus is going to let us draw 2 cards, which is pretty cool. So 1, 2. And we drew an Ash, which is fantastic. If you draw into a hand trap in this play, it's really, really nice. So then now all that we need to do is we need to top deck a card for Plague. So I guess I'll send back a Moray Agreed. Doesn't really matter, I just wouldn't recommend putting the Ash back in this situation. And then we banish 3 monsters with different names. So we have the Link Cross token, I don't know what the exact name is, Plague Spreader Zombie, or not the Link Cross token, the Mecha Phantom Beast token, and the Mecha Phantom Beast Auradon to summon out the Calamities. And then we overlay these 2, and for Trishula, we overlay these 2 for Calamities. So we make them discard 2 and we have a Calamities. That's like the standard Diva play that I showcased. And it was bridged together in a weird way because in that particular play, I think it was better to just Minstrel first and see the hand. And then we have to sort of use Megalo in a way to manipulate our graveyard to get enough waters engraved, because if you use Minstrel first before Diva, yes, it's safer, but you need that Megalo to ensure the waters engraved. So yeah, kind of an awkward playline. You don't go to Link Rebo in that playline. You don't have to go to Link Rebo in that playline, I should say, because you have the Megalo. but it still worked out. Just gotta remember, like, the link cross tokens. Always be aware that Auradon has to summon 3 tokens, and you have to have the room. Otherwise, you can't go for this play. So be careful with that. I really want to get a hand here where we can showcase the power of Appaloosa. Now, obviously, Appaloosa one-on-one is not as good as VFD, but there's a lot of plays where you can't go into VFD, or maybe you just whip out an Appaloosa randomly, or maybe when you use Minstrel with your opponent's hand, you saw they were playing a deck where VFD's not that great, so you might as well just go for an Appaloosa so you can have the control negates instead. Really depends on the matchup. Obviously, in most situations, VFD's better, but let's just see what we have. So we got Dragoons, Minstrel, okay, Arborea, Diva, and a Teus. So, wow, that's really good. So what I'm going to do here, actually, is we're going to use Minstrel right away. So our opponent has no cards in hand. Or, excuse me, we rip out the hand trap. We're going to get a search for Prince here, actually. And then what we're going to do is we're going to discard the Prince to special the Teus. Both of the effects are going to activate, so we'll bring back a Dragoons. And we'll bring out a copy of Abyss Pike from our deck off of the Teus effect. And then from here, so this is interesting. So we got to see our opponent's hand. So if they have 2 hand traps here, let's say they have Ash and a Nibiru, right? Let's say, or maybe not Ash and Nibiru. But yeah, let's say they had Ash and Nibiru, or Imperm and Nibiru better. That works off better, right? So we Minstrel, and we say, okay, what do? Do we hit the Imperm, we hit the Nibiru? We hit the Imperm, because if they have Nibiru, what we would do is we would summon Pike, use Pike's effect, discard Print, or discard Diva, and then we would get a search, and we would get, we don't need to get Arborea here, which is cool because we already have one. So we're going to get ourselves Gunned, and then for our 4th summon, we'll make the Bahamut Shark, which will then, we will use the effect to go into Toad. So now, like in a hypothetical situation where our opponent had Imperm plus Nibiru, we can play through both. Just to show you guys, like, what the, like, basically I'm making a hypothetical situation for these test hands. So in this hypothetical situation, our opponent had Nibiru plus other hand trap, and that's how you can play through both of them, depending what the other hand trap is, of course. So yeah, now we get the effect of Dragoons, and we need a tuner here. So we're going to just get ourselves the Lapis Dragon, which will then summon itself from its effect, from our hand, and it's a tuner. And then from here, I mean, I guess we could have maybe made a weird play. No, we couldn't have. I was going to say maybe make a weird play to go into Moonlight Glacia, but that would have messed up our water count. So then we go for a Link 2 into Christian Halki Fibrax. Christian Halki Fibrax's effect is going to activate, and we're going to bring out Plague Spreader Zombie. So then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to Synchro 9. Yeah, we're going to Synchro 9. So Plague Spreader and Abyss Teus into Ravenous Cruxor Arquetus. Ravenous Cruxor Arquetus will just draw 1 card. We draw an Ash Blossom. That's really good. Great. So now what we're going to do is we're going to special summon Crusadia Arborea to a Zona like Monster Points to. We're going to link the Halki Fibrax and summon out a Link Cross, which will net us the 2 level 1 tokens right over here. Then we're going to Synchro 4 using Arborea and a level 1 token to get our 3rd form of interruption in the Herald of the Arclight. And then, so this is going to be tricky actually, because we have to discard 2 cards for Arquetus, and we're going to have to top deck a card for Plague Spreader Zombie. So this might not work how I want it to work, but we're going to top deck 1. Ooh, as I hit my mic there, sorry. Top deck 1 for Plague. Plague is going to get banished here because we're going to Synchro 3 with the token. And we're going to bring out the Martial Metal Marcher. Martial Metal Marcher's effect is going to activate here. And we're going to bring out anything really, actually. So we'll just bring out the Lapis Dragon. And then, like, kind of a weird playline, I guess. Maybe I messed it up. Let me know in the comments. We'll link the 2 non-link monsters into IP Masquerena. And I think I might have messed this up. We probably could have made a better board. But basically what this is kind of 3 or 4 interruptions through multiple hand traps. So, like, the reason why I say kind of is because we can't really use Arquetus' effect, unfortunately. But we have 1 negate, 2 negates, the Ash in hand, I guess, or we could go into a Unicorn using these 2, or we could just hard make an Appaloosa, because, you know, this is dead, right? So we can just go Masquerena, Arquetus, and Link Cross into Appaloosa, which is probably the better play. So let's say it's our opponent's turn, whatever, we Link 4 into a 3 negate Appaloosa that has the buffs from the IP Masquerena. And then we have 5 negates with an Ash in hand, which is pretty cool. You know, we got to do that through 2 hand traps per se, so I like that play. I want to show you guys what we can do in a situation where we don't have Dragoons plus Minstrel or Diva or Prince. But the thing is, like, that's like 9 cards in our deck. Probably should be more than 9 cards. Basically, what I'm trying to say is those cards in our deck is really what gets all our play started. And there's so many of them that it's pretty rare that you don't have any of them in your hand. So we got Ghost Ogre, Minstrel, Gun, Minstrel, and Prince. Okay, so Prince kind of saved it there because this hand would have been pretty bad without it. So right off the bat, I am going to... I'll just Minstrel first. I think Minstrel, discarding Minstrel. Possibly. I'm trying to think here. Because, like, people know not to hit the Prince with a hand trap, except for maybe Gamma. I guess Gamma would be pretty good to hit Prince with. I'm just going to summon the Prince, though. We'll summon the Prince, send Dragoons, add Dragoons. And we are going to also get... I think we're going to get Megalo here, actually. Again. Yeah, we'll get Megalo. Why not? And then from here, we will use the effect of Minstrel. So we'll see our opponent's hand, rip a card. And then here, we're going to get ourselves... we kind of have to get Lapis Dragon here, go to Halki Fibrax. So yeah, we'll do that. And I don't think we're going to even summon the Megalo, honestly. I think we just go for VFD. We have the Ogre in hand, which is kind of nice. See, I'm pretty sure this hand is literally just VFD pass. You know, Minstrel's effect is a hard once per turn, so we can't, like, do it again and, like, bring back the Megalo somehow if that was a play line. We could maybe go into Barricade Board Blocker and then discard... No, we can't do that. Yeah, this is just going to be the standard VFD combo. So, with Prince. So if you saw the combo video, you already know what this is. We just go to Halki Fibrax, bring out the gun, or not the gun, the Plague Spreader, and then we go into the standard VFD board. If you don't know how to do that, I have a combo video showing the 1-card VFD. I think it's the first combo in the video, the 1-card Prince VFD, and it would play out exactly the same. So I'm not just going to play the whole thing out and waste your time when you know it's just going to end on VFD pass. If there was a better thing we could have done with the cards that I'm playing, please let me know. Same thing with that last combo before where we ended with the IP buffed Masquerade, or the IP buffed Appaloosa. I think there might have been something different we could have done that was better. I feel like I missed something there. But yeah, that's why I make these videos, help you guys, show you how to play this deck, and you guys can help me play this deck better, which is great. Because even though it's my favorite deck, it's not like I know every little possible intricacy and every single play I go for is going to be the 100% best play. I can make some mistakes too, I can make some misplays, and I could not see certain play lines that other people might be able to see. I need new sleeves, by the way. These sleeves have been on forever, but why change them when I can't even go to locals, right? I did get new sleeves, but no point in putting them on if I'm not going to actually play with them. So yeah, what do we got here? Veiler, Prince, Shinada, Abystius, and Pike. This one's pretty cool. So, here what I'm going to do is we can special the Shinatha. We can send Dragoons, add Dragoon. This is going to be a weird play. We're going to summon Prince. I'm going to experiment here and see what happens, because I never had a hand like this, really. So we're going to send Dragoons, add Dragoons. And then Dragoon's effect is going to activate, and we'll get Minstrel, and we'll rip something from their hand. And then here, let's see, we normal summon... You know what I'm going to get here, actually? This is going to be a really weird play line. I just want to see how this works out. I'm going to get a Prince here. I am going to get a Prince here. And then I'm going to discard Prince to special summon Teus. Teus is going to bring back the Dragoons. We saw their hands, so we should be able to play through Nibiru because of that. So then Dragoons is going to activate here. Or sorry, no. Teus is going to activate here. And we'll get a level 3 water. Or a level 3 or lower Mermail. 4 or lower Mermail, whatever. The only one we have is Gunned. So we kind of have to get Gunned. And then what we're going to do here, make Bahamut Shark using these two. That's why I like the Tenny Spirit a lot, because it's random Bahamut Sharks for Toad. We'll detach the Dragoons, special summon, totally awesome. Then we're going to get ourselves the Lapis Dragon. Lapis Dragons, I think I might have put too many monsters on board for this particular line of play. So now what we're going to do is we'll leave the Teus on board, and we'll link 2. We're going to go into Halki Fibrax. We don't have the Arborea this time. But what we can do... Actually, I should have left the Prince instead. Let's do that. Let's leave the Prince instead because we can do more with a level 1 monster compared to a Bahamut Shark. So we're going to get the Halki Fibrax out. I'm just thinking, what if I just summon Arborea here instead? That's not a good idea. Never mind. We're gonna summon out this, and then could I go for Martial Metal Marcher now? Martial Metal Marcher. Then I'm gonna have too much room. So what we're gonna do here is we'll take these two, go to Ravenous Crocosaur Arquetis, and then from here, let's think. So I need a machine. So I could top deck one for Plague here. Top deck one for Plague, Martial Metal Marcher. Yeah, let's top deck one for Plague. So I'll top deck the Pike. Bring back the Plague Spreader Zombie. We're going to Synchro 3 using the Prince. So that's going to banish the Plague. This is a really experimental hand because I don't know where we're going to end. We're going to summon out our machine. And then it's going to bring back our Minstrel. And then what we're going to do here... Let's see. So if I go to Link Cross, summon one token. Let's go to Link Cross and summon one. And then go into a 4. That's only 3 interruptions. That's really not that good. If I didn't use the effect here, that wouldn't be good either. Unless I can go to Barricade Borg Blocker, but I would have had to go into Link Rebo first. Honestly, I think if we just Link 1, go into Link Cross, bring out one token, and then Synchro 4, go into Herald of the Arclight. Now here we can't go to IP Masquerena because IP Masquerena needs a non-Link monster. But we could go into Barricade Borg Blocker. Is that worth it though? Barricade Borg Blocker, discard Gund. Yeah, this is gonna be really weird. Barricade Borg Blocker, discard Gund, which will activate Gund's effect. And Gund is going to bring back the Abystius. And then from here, what we could do is we could just Synchro with the Arquetis. Or not Synchro, we could Link 4 and make an Appaloosa with 3 negates. So we do still end with 5 interruptions technically in a Valor in hand. I don't know if that was the best line of play. I just really freestyle that to see what we can end on. Which I think is important when you do test hands. Like it's important to memorize combos, sure, but you know, just freestyle and see what you can end on, because that's when, like, when you're playing the deck in a tournament, you're gonna get interrupted. You're gonna have these weird hands. You're gonna have to like know like what to do that's a little bit different. And I feel like it's the reason why a lot of people struggle with combo decks is because they look at their hand and say, oh, I don't have combo, I bricked, and they don't realize that maybe they did have a play that they just didn't see. And that particular hand, although it was actually a pretty decent hand because we had Tea's Prince, I played it a little bit differently just to see what we can end on. So let's do one more hand. I think I'm not sure really how long it's been. I've been recording for about 20 minutes. But I just feel like a lot of the hands, even though I do think this variant of the deck is less linear than pre-banless when we had O-line and stuff, a lot of the boards you end on are the same, and it's a lot more self-explanatory, I would say. It's weird for me to say that, right? That it ends on a lot of the similar boards, but it's less linear. That might not make a lot of sense. The deck just feels better to play to me, in my opinion. Not necessarily better, not necessarily worse. But yeah, Double Diva, Arborea, Infantry, and Plague. That's a weird hand. That's a really weird hand. So, the thing is, no matter what, we lose to Deep Sea Diva getting stopped, right? So what I would do here, this is one of the few instances where I would actually use Infantry as an extender, and I would normal summon it, and hopefully it doesn't get ashed, or Veilered, or Impermanence rather, and then I would normal summon the Diva. And then if Diva gets ashed or Impermanenced, we have the Arborea in hand, which actually saves us, because that means we could still go to VFD. So let's say hypothetically, we summon the Prince, or we summon the Infantry, nothing happens to it, we get the extra normal on Diva, and they drop an Ash. Okay, so we got Ash Blossom. So what we would do here actually is we would link to summon Halki Fibrax. Halki Fibrax effect will activate. We already have the Plague Spreader Zombie in hand, right? So I'm gonna summon out the last Diva from our deck, because it's still a level 2 tuner. And it just thins the deck really. So then we can take the Halki Fibrax, and then we can go into, actually, no, hold on. I'm trying to think about the line of play here. I think I might have been, because the fact that we have the Arborea in hand is really what makes this play, like, good. I could special it from hand, and then some, yeah, you know what, let's just keep doing this and see how this works. Let's commit to the play. So we'll link one, but it might have been better just to summon the Plague from hand. We're going to bring this out, getting ourselves 2 tokens. 1, 2. We'll special Arborea. And then from here, we will make a level 3. And that's going to be Martial Metal Marcher. Martial Metal Marcher, no. Yeah, Martial Metal Marcher is going to bring back a Diva, which is fine. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to take the... We're going to take the Cross and the Diva. Make a level 3. Make a... Not a level 3, I can't speak at all. Make a link into Barricade Board Blocker. Barricade Board Blocker is going to discard the Plague Spreader zombie. Which I guess in retrospect it would have just made more sense to just summon the Plague anyway, because it would have been in the grave regardless, but whatever. And then from here we're going to make 3. And we're going to bring out the Like a Phantom Beast Auroradon, which is going to get us 3 level 3 tokens. Pretend these are level 3. And then from here, we're going to go 3, 6, 9, which is going to go into Arquetis, letting us draw 2 cards. So we draw a Gund, and we draw 1 for 1. That's interesting. Unfortunately, 1 for 1 says send, not discard, so we can't like do shenanigans with Gund if we had a Mermail in the grave, which we don't. And then from here, we can actually leave the Plague in grave, because we can just banish, 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 because we already have 3 monsters. Because one was a Link Cross token and the other was an Auradon token, so they have different names. And then we can go into Trishula, overlay these 2, and make ourselves the VFD. But now from here, like, we can keep going, actually, because we didn't use Prince, and we drew the 1 for 1. So I'm going to 1 for 1, discarding Diva, and we're going to bring out Prince. We're going to use Prince's effect. We're going to send Dragoons, add Dragoons. Dragoon's effect is going to activate. And let's see here now. If we add... There's really not much of a point to add Minstrel. Other than trigger Dragoons. But I'm going to do that anyway. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to use the effect. So that's going to get ourselves a Dragoon Search, which is going to be the Lapis Dragon, which we didn't use. And then what we can do here is we can... I mean, we could just make like a Masquerena, but like what's the real point in that, you know? Because we would have to use the Calamities with it. There's really no point to bring back Plague. I guess if you played a level 6 tuner like Coral Drag, if you just go into that to draw a card. Was there anything else I could have done? I used my level 3 Synchro. This is a 5. So I can't Synchro with anything else. So I guess we just like make a Link Rebo too. Just wanted to see what we could have done there, and there really wasn't much of an option. I can't go into any Bahamut Shark plays. I could literally just make Masquerena just in case, I guess. Like I could like do this, and then I guess like in a situation where they have impermanence, which is like the 1 out to this, I could at least go into a Unicorn play. So yeah, kind of a weird ending there, but at least we got to VFD in a kind of an awkward way. That was while getting interrupted, technically, because we assumed that we got ashed. But yeah, that's going to be it for the test stand video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If I made any mistakes, if I didn't make any sense, let me know. If there's any way I could have played it better, given the cards that I'm playing in my deck, let me know. Either way, leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all later, and bye-bye.